One thing we're asked to do every once in a while is to find the prime factorization of some numbers. So let's work on these here. 42, 24, and 50. Now the technique I like to use is I make a little mark like so, and I say this number is even, so I can take a 2 out of there. And 2 is our first prime number. 1 is not a prime number. It doesn't meet the definition. So 2 goes into there 21 times. Now, according to the rule of threes, if I add these together, it adds up to 3. So that means I can take a 3 out of this, and 3 goes into 21 7 times. And 7 is a prime number. So these numbers that I have on the end here are my prime factorization of 42. And in MATLAB you list it as 2 times 3 times 7. All right, let's do this one. Again, it's even, so I can take out a 2. And I get a 1 and a 2 there. And this is even, so I can take out a 2. 2 goes into there 6 times. And 6 is even, so I can take out a 2. And I'm left with a 3. So these numbers along the side here are my prime factors. So in showing the prime factorization of this, I get 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. All right, 50 is one we often see in our math work, in our math lab, as a quiz me or as a test item even. So what's the prime factorization of 50? Well, again, it's even, so I can take out a 2. And that's 2 times 25 is 50. And then now that it ends with a 5, I know I can take a 5 out of there. And 5 times 5. So my prime factorization is 2 times 5 times 5. Now often we're asked to find the LCD of things, the lowest common denominator. So suppose we were asked to find the lowest common denominator of these 3 numbers. Well, the rule is, and it's kind of an interesting rule, is what's the greatest number of times a factor is used in any one factorization? Well, I guess we can do it in blue here. Well, here we have a 2 used once. Here we have a 2 used 3 times. And here we have a 2 used once. So what is the greatest number of times that the 2 is used in any one factorization? So it's 3 times. So I need a 2 times 2 times 2. Okay. Now I have another factorization. Let me change colors. And I have a 3. Well, 3 is used once here. 3 is used once there. And it's not used at all. So the greatest number of times a 3 is used in any one factorization is once. So I'll need a 3. All right, now I have a 7 here. Change colors again. Now 7 is used once there and only once. So I will need a 7. And what do I have left? Well, I have a 5. 5 is used in this factorization twice. So I'm going to need a 5 and a 5. So if I multiply all of these together, I get what the LCD, the lowest common denominator of these three. It's quite a big number. And it happens to be 4,200. Would be the LCD of these three numbers. Now, you might say, how about something a little easier? Well, let's try one. Now, suppose our numbers were a 12 and a 9 as a denominator. Let's say I wanted to add 1/12 and 1/9 together. What would be my lowest common denominator? Well, I would make my tree. So 2, 6, 2, 3. 9 is 3 and 3. So what's the greatest number of times a 2 is used in any one factorization? It's used twice. And then we have a 3 here. And then here the 3 is used twice. So the greatest number of times is 2 times. So I get then 4 times 9 is 36. So my lowest common denominator there would be 36. And this is the way I figure it out for any of them. If you have a, let's say a 5, 1/5, and then this is a plus 1/6. Well, here it's going to be 30. Sometimes you could just multiply them together. All right, that'll be enough.